All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. And in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division where there is a lot of misinformation being thrown around from what I can see. Gervonta Tank Davis reacts to Devin Haney dropping his titles in the 135-pound division and reports that he will be elevated to the WBC full championship, which is something that he already has. Gervonta, however, says, I don't want that, S-H-I-T. Let's talk about it in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, I need for you to take out a pen and paper, take some notes, because it's going to be a little bit of a lesson about how boxing, the business, the organization, how the sanctioning bodies work, because there is a bunch of nonsense being put out there that really does need to be corrected so that people can respect what is actually taking place in the sport of boxing. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about what is being said about Gervonta Davis and by Gervonta Davis after Devin Haney has vacated his titles at 135 pounds, which I have to say, thank you very much for doing that, because we all knew it was coming. So just get it over with and move on and do what you got to do. Devin Haney drops all those belts, and then a report comes out that Gervonta Davis will be elevated to the full championship from his regular championship, WBA regular championship. Gervonta responds with, I don't want that, S-H-I-T. Here's the only problem. More than likely, that's not true. And I'll explain it to you in this video. Now, before I get into it, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really makes a huge difference to the channel. But let's get this straight. Gervonta Davis does not need to be elevated to be the WBA champion, because he already is the WBA champion. People that are familiar with the franchise title with the WBC understand this fully. Gervonta Davis has the WBA world title. There is no title in existence named the WBA regular title. That is just the way people phrase that. But the traditional belt that people have to be the WBA world title is the belt Gervonta already has. For the purposes of undisputed, however, the WBA has a designation called the WBA Super Champion. Super means above. The champion above the WBA world title, that is then therefore allowed to fight unification fights with the other sanctioning bodies and not have to fight a mandatory. So when the WBA started eliminating these belts, the WBA super belt, and it has to because it was ordered to do so by the American Boxing Council, the ABC. And I think it's the Association of Boxing Commissions, not American. It's American body, but it's the Association of Boxing Commissions in the United States said that they would, and they are empowered to do so by the Muhammad Ali Act, which is a federal law. They said you have to get rid of these belts. So they started consolidating the WBA Super and the WBA World title. So when Devin dropped that WBA Super, only thing that happens is Gervonta Davis keeps the belt that he already has. Now, how do we know this to be the case? Because Erislandy Lara right now is the WBA world champion. They did not make him the WBA super champion when Gennady Golovkin dropped his belt. Didn't do it. So there's no need for Gervonta to do anything other than keep the belt he's already has, and the one that has the mandatories associated with it, which he's already been fighting. So just to be very clear, once again, just like when George Kambosos lost to Devin Haney, and Devin Haney was the WBC world champion, and George Kambosos was the WBC franchise champion. Only thing that happened when Kambosos lost was that WBC franchise belt went away, and now because there was no super belt or franchise belt that allows somebody to not face mandatories, the regular champion, I mean regular means not super, not saying that the belt is titled that, but the WBA world champion is now just what they always have been, the WBA world champion. Now, somebody could say full champion, as in it's not separated between the super and the world anymore. The super and the world anymore. That could be true. No problem with that being accurate. That now that he is the full champion, but it is not a matter of him being elevated. Now, Gervonta Davis has in the past been the WBA Super World Champion. And that was the case when he was at 130 pounds, when he won a vacant title. And then after that, when he beat Leo Santa Cruz, who held the WBA Super junior lightweight title. Now, I know all of this stuff is kind of confusing, but when Gervonta says he doesn't want that ish, that's good for boxing, because that means that he doesn't want to go without fighting mandatories. However, he is the full champion at 135 pounds for the sake of undisputed. So you can now stop saying that he's only a one division full champion, because he is now, but not because he's elevated, but because the super belt is more than likely not going to be in existence, and they're not going to have somebody else fight for that super championship. Also opens up the possibility of a unification fight taking place between Gervonta Davis and another sanctioning body, whether it's the WBO, the IBF, or the WBC. So that, in my opinion, is very, very good news. But being very, very clear, Gervonta Davis is rejecting the notion that he is going to be elevated to the WBA Super Lightweight World Championship. Or is it the WBA Lightweight Super World Championship? Anyway, very confusing designation, and I'm glad that it's going away per the Association of Boxing Commissions and what they told the WBA they needed to do in order to continue to be able to put fights on in the United States. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.